Shalom, welcome back to the channel. I'm Sister Kate. This is Shofar Mountain. So, we've been watching the press briefings pretty much daily and listening to all the things that the Trump administration has been putting into action to fight this virus. And if you go way back, some of my earlier videos where I talk about the flu, this is not a new situation. People who don't have any historical perspective are just freaking out about this virus and, oh, they didn't tell us in time and a month made this huge amount of difference. No, this is not true. Any doctor who talked about influenza, any person with medical knowledge can tell you what a virus is and how viruses act and what to expect with viruses and how, whoa, always there's something going on, huh? And how bacteria and viruses differ, and antibiotics only fight bacterial infections. They do not fight viruses. If you go onto social media, there is so much lying going on there. There is so much sensationalizing, and let me see how many views I can get. And people are putting out absolute lies, mistruths about the virus, about what our government is doing about the virus. People who don't understand how our government works. Governors should have the power. And that's exactly what the Trump administration has done. They've given the governors the power to do the different things in their state so they can react to what's happening locally. It's how it works. And then the FedGov is supporting them. They're sending them ventilators. They're getting companies like GM to switch over from, producing cars, which no one's going to be buying right now, hardly, to producing ventilators that, most hospitals will need. And so there's a danger there. There's a real danger there of people being misled. And I'll use an example of the couple who heard the briefing, and I heard it too, I was watching it, where the hydrochloroquine, or it's close to that, and the quinine were expressed by Donald Trump. They have hopes that they're working against the virus. Nowhere in that press briefing did Donald Trump instruct anybody to go out and buy these things. He and Dr. Fauci together made sure to stress that this drug and the other one, remdesivir, are being used in trials, clinical trials, that they were using them for people who were already seriously ill, who agreed to say, yep, you can use this on me and we'll see how it works, because they're trying to, this is what they call a therapeutic. They're trying to come up with medicines that help reduce the symptoms. And so for someone to say, oh yeah, Donald Trump said we should all go out and buy this and take this stuff, is not true. And it's dangerous. Those people ingested something that the internet's saying is fish tank cleaner. It definitely had something to do, I think it may have been a fish medicine or something, and the woman just read the ingredient on the back and decided they were going to take that. This is just plain stupidity, people, and I'm very sorry. I think her husband passed away. I'm very sorry about that. That's not a joke. But it's also just plain stupid, and you cannot blame the president or Dr. Fauci for the dumb things that this woman and her husband did. And that's what I'm saying. It's dangerous when people put out mistruths, because other people believe it's true and may act on it. And so there's a saying, we were taught it in high school. It's called caveat emptor, which means let the buyer beware. But in this case, be educated, be knowledgeable about what's happening and the correct ways to deal with it, because this virus is no joke. I've shared in different places, like on my community page and to certain people and so on, a video I watched of a doctor who's a bariatric, I can't remember if it was a bariatric surgeon, bariatric neurosurgeon, he did a very simplistic explanation of how this virus attacks people's lungs, and it's the medical community right now does not know how to stop that. So what they're doing is they're trying to keep the virus from overwhelming people's lungs, and they're using the knowledge that they have. They're using anti-inflammatory drugs and steroid drugs because the lungs become inflamed when this virus attacks the alveoli and the surfactant in the lung. But they can't really stop it, and so they're just reacting, and that's why people have to be put on ventilators. The virus attacks the way the lungs work. The lungs fill with fluid. When the lungs fill with fluid, you can't get enough oxygen exchange, and you're slowly suffocating. And so they're using respirators, because what happens is people's actual muscles get tired. Your diaphragm and the muscles that help your chest expand get tired, and your lungs get tired of working against all this fluid in there, and so they want to quit. And you get infection and stuff in there. That's pneumonia. So they're using ventilators to keep the air exchange going, so these people's organs, their hearts and their livers and things, get enough oxygen so they can stay alive. It's not a joke, and it is very important that you stay home, that I know they say social distancing, but I'm saying, like, you should not come in contact with any other people if you can help it. Your video game is not that important. Your favorite food, your special cookies or whatever are not worth the risk. Now, having said that, yes, it's true, 80% of people recover from it. Okay, awesome. But we don't know who the 80% will be, or who the 20% who get it seriously, or the 10% who need to go to ICU, or the 3% who don't survive it are. And it's killed people from, a child under 12 months old all the way up to, 95 years old. People have gotten it and either survived it or didn't survive it, and you just don't know. There's a family in New Jersey where 4 people in the family got it, and a couple of them died from it. That family may have a genetic weakness, and I'm not trying to say there's something wrong with them. I'm just saying that some people have in their genetic line the inability to fight certain illnesses. And so you don't know. Don't risk it. Don't risk it. And don't listen to the people spreading mistruths on social media. Go to the CDC website. Research some doctors. Dr. John Campbell in Britain is putting out a daily brief. He's doing a great job. He understands the medical side of this problem. He's a real doctor. The doctor I watched his video, his name is Dr. Wong, and it's Vuong. And he got his medical degree at Texas A&M. As far as I can tell, his video is sound medical information. So find out the truths and avoid this virus. All right, you guys, bless you. Shalom.